Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Hot Tag Reviews. This time round, it is Talking Shop. We have a guest. It's a special one. You be the judge of how special. I am Rob Campbell, alongside...
I'm jobber number 2, Martin Holland.
And I'm Daniel, what you thought you'd get, but instead you ordered from Wish Cornfield.
And our guest is...
D. Elliott Jordan Experience. Hello.
Here he is, streamlined, aerodynamic, all of the gimmicks. Hello, Elliott Jordan.
It's the Elliott Jordan Experience, Rob.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry. You know what? I've seen you in a podcast recently, and you corrected the person like all the way through it. So it is the Elliott Jordan Experience, not just Elliott Jordan. Simple as.
Yeah.
No,
experience involved.
That's it. I earned that title.
Correct.
I earned that. Yeah. Don't just give them away.
No, not at all. I apologise straight off the bat. The Elliott Jordan Experience is here to correct me throughout this entire thing.
We're live, pal.
We are live. We are
together.
Can we do this again? Can we do this again? No? Okay.
Is that you, Hawk?
Apparently, this is some merch that Lacey happened to have of yours that I've hung up there in the background. So I'm supporting your merch today, pal.
Well, let's just get this straight. Your missus is supporting my merch. How many RC Chaos tops does she have?
Oh, I'm loving this. This is basically a 30-minute interview of Rob getting shit on from a great height.
If that's how it's going to be.
I love that he had none of that. Let's just carry on. I love
it. Can't wait to listen to it on the way back.
Oh.
Was it bad?
Nah,
not for us. Not for us.
Not for you. You got all sorts in there.
It's good being a passenger. I love it.
Well, we are on the ride now. We are here. Elliott Jordan, the Elliott Jordan Experience. Before he corrects me again. Can someone else have a go, please?
No, it's all right, Rob. You're fucking up for him. Rob, we'll let you carry on.
Oh, bless you.
Elliott, I'm not... Go on.
So, would you prefer Elliott Jordan Experience or Mr. EJE?
Oh, always the Elliott Jordan Experience, yeah.
I like a man who likes it full.
Yeah.
I like a man who likes it full.
Somewhere announced me once and they just put the EJXP. I wasn't happy.
So I'm not a video game, mate. I'm the real life
That's it.
person right now.
That's it. That's the whole point. The whole point of having the long name like that is for that reason, to constantly correct people, announcers, all stuff like that, and anyone who it's like them dickheads on Jersey Shore who were like The Situation and shit like that. It just proper pissed me off and it used to annoy me. So
you thought, fuck it, I'm going to use this. And
I'll just ask as well. You've probably been asked this before, but has it ever been just Elliott Jordan, or has it always been like before you become the Experience? Did it ever develop into that, or was it always?
Yeah, it just started as just Elliott Jordan. It was actually the Wolf of Broad Street, Elliott Jordan, and then over time, it just happened to switch. I think I remember turning to some fan one time and just saying, "This is the Elliott Jordan Experience," on the entrance or something. And then I got a piece of gear and I thought, oh, that sounded pretty cool. And then I just had it on the front of my trunks. And that's essentially where the name came from.
I think all the great things just happen just ad hoc, or off the bat, and just roll with it, don't you? And all the good nights out are the unplanned ones, ain't they? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
That's what always happens.
Well, I was going to ask, because was there like leading up to that? Obviously, now knowing that you just came from nowhere, I was wondering, was there like a Elliott Jordan teaser, and then did it evolve from that, or was it straight away into the Experience? But we've got the answer to that. I think
the Elliott Jordan Experience name kind of happened just out of nowhere. But then before then, there was the Wolf of Broad Street, which it was a very similar persona to the Experience. It was before I'd even had before I'd even had my first proper match here in Birmingham, I'd come up with this Wolf of Broad Street, obviously the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
I worked on Broad Street at the time. I lived on Broad Street at the time. I think I was about 24. I'd already had about 8 years working in bars and things. So it seemed like a really, really cool idea on paper. Since day one, I've always been quite an outspoken heel character. But after the first few matches, I kind of just didn't. I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling this whole, because the Wolf of Broad Street character, it's kind of, you've not really got much scope. Like there was all sorts of cool little cool spots I could do, or cool little things I could say, but I just felt there wasn't really much scope to take it anywhere, and I just didn't really. I stopped kind of enjoying it, and then me and an old tag partner had a really bad match at Kamikaze on a main show, because this was before we had the Dojo live shows. So didn't wrestle on a main show for a while. And I remember I used to live in the flat under the promoter, one of my best friends now, James. And I remember we were just sitting up there one time, and he says, "Oh, we need to change. We need to think of something fresh for your character." And we were going through names, like what I could do, what I could kind of think. And I just thought, well, I took kind of the good things about the Wolf of Broad Street, and then it just kind of felt right. I remember just saying to him, because James had actually said to me, "Oh, we need to make it about your bald head and your beard," simply because from day one, I've been hounded from it. And the upside down chants, the bald chants, I love them. But I knew that if I was gonna go forward, that was gonna be a big part. So I thought, well, why not just say the Elliott? Why don't I just call myself the Elliott Jordan Experience? And we thought about it. It just fit. And then you add in the streamlined and aerodynamic, like the streamlined and aerodynamic experience, and so it just came from there. And then because I felt I was having a lot more fun, I felt a lot more comfortable. The character, like, it is a massive dickhead, and I know everyone says, "Oh, good characters are yourself turned up to 100." I'm not that much of a dickhead in real life, I like to think, but yeah, because I just get to have fun with it, and do the things that annoy me, like I harken back to the Jersey Shore, like with the name and things. So it's just something I can have a lot of fun with. Like, if someone, people have asked me before, what is the experience? And I can never give an answer, because you've just got to see it. You've just got to be. You've got to be there, a part of it.
That's your advertising right there. But it's like, what's the experience? Pay your money and find out.
That's it.
I mean,
that's it.
Talk them into the building.
What is art? It's your own interpretation, and you know, what did you get from this piece of work? Yeah. So
if it was Neil Buchanan, it was usually trace. So
yeah,
really, I wouldn't call that art. That's tracing, brother.
No.
There's literally 2 points I have on the back of that. Is one, the experience is definitely worth asking some bird in Mallorca in a cafe somewhere. Yes, Elliott Jordan Experience. Yes, she got the full ticket. Secondly, do you think the Wolf of Broad Street, like, what didn't work about it? Is it mainly because, like, you're not originally from Birmingham, do you feel, or is it just because that persona was just not you?
I'm still trying to process that first comment. I'll come back. I'll address that one now.
Get it out of the way.
They threw me off asking that question, and you want to think of a good story, but you don't want something too weird.
Yeah.
But you don't want something too vanilla and not weird enough. Then the story comes to my head, and I realized I said something like, "Oh yeah, one of my mum's friends owns some guy who's worked there," and I walked into the cafe and a bit of this happened, and then I watched it back and was like, shit, man, have I just said that I went in and banged one of my mum's friends, this guy? And I was like, thinking but now all it was is I was went into a cafe where a friend of mine who was a girl worked.
I got that bit from it. I got that bit.
Thank you. Yeah, 2021, man. No judgment either way. No judgment either way.
It was quiet at the time. We hadn't seen each other in a while. We had a little thing, and it ended up. Bit of kissing turned into a bit of action, and my stepdad happened to ring me asking me to come to work as I was there. So yeah, that was that to clarify. But the Wolf of Broad Street, I wasn't really high pitched then. The Wolf of Broad Street, you guys know what it's like when you first start in wrestling, and you're having your first matches. You've got so much to think about. Before you can really start enjoying the moments and working on your character and actually doing stuff like that. But yeah, I think I just didn't enjoy it, which is strange to me because the Elliott Jordan Experience is very similar. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like I was stuck in a really gimmicky role, like having to come out all like this VIP, you're the Wolf of Bros. I don't know. I found it hard to even like retort to the fans and things. I just felt I'd have no real scope to take it anywhere further than Birmingham or the surrounding areas. Because I don't know, you go as far as like Nottingham, a load of families they're not gonna know what Broad Street is.
You'd have to be the Wolf of something straight, wouldn't you? You'd
that's it.
Constantly be changing it each town that you were in.
Imagine all that merch though, all them t-shirts with all this.
It's like the Suplex City, isn't it? It's like Suplex City.
Yeah, it's kept it so vague that it's like it could be any city.
Yeah,
I think the fact is though, as you first start, it's like you have so many ideas, like you said.
Yeah,
not everything works, but the beautiful thing with wrestling is the longer you go, you go, right, that worked, but I can do something more with it. And I think that's the beauty of like a sort of bit of a reinvention. You can have that and you're fully in control of it. I think that's awesome when you hear stories of someone going and making something of it. I think that's awesome. Always.
That's exactly literally exactly what it is. You've got to adapt and kind of move forward. It's crazy. I think I'd probably end up doing I'd be a completely different wrestler if I did have a full head of hair still. Because
we all ask that question.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Not all of us,
Definitely not all of us.
I'd never. You will be soon.
Then we will laugh.
Well, yes, yeah. Cheers for that. Cheers for that confidence boost.
The streamlined and aerodynamic gimmick thing. I'd never heard them two words combined before. And I'm pretty sure I was at the Collingwood Centre and someone, as they always do, just chanted bald. And I just turned around and I went, it's not bald, it's streamlined, it's aerodynamic.
Yeah.
And just got the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, hang on a sec, this could actually go somewhere. Gets added to the announcement. I think the streamlined and aerodynamic is probably the biggest part of the Elliott Jordan Experience. I think that's the I don't know. It's like the cream on top of the cake for me. Having that. But yeah.
And was it Colin that helped you come up with the ring announcement, or was it yourself, James, for example?
I do believe it was 100%. It was 100% Colin. He's fantastic at announcing and stuff like that. But yeah, I said to him, to be honest, I can't remember the actual conversation about it. It might have been James saying he thinks it'd be a good idea to have that because it really does allow me to get my character over.
Without a doubt.
But yeah, Colin wrote it 100%. I think I've suggested little bits in there. But I'm hoping over time it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
You just want it so long, it's like obviously so like antagonistic. It's like streamlined, all this, and then it's like we're going to start reading War and Peace, and then the first 4 Bibles, like for instance.
But that long, that
go so long.
One day you'd be booked in the match, you got like the promoter, like, oh, you get 12 minutes, and you'd be like, you turn around and see your guy, you'd be like, oh, wait, mate, we've got about 7 minutes in this sorted. Don't worry about it.
Get that match booked.
That's it.
Everyone,
the older you get as well, the better easy it'll be. But you don't have to do much work. It's all in the entrance. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone thinks it's just it's just for a fun entrance, but it's not. It's so I have to do less wrestling and less actual work.
Smart booking.
Smart and harder, definitely.
Absolutely. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the T-shirt that the Elliott Jordan Experience is sporting this evening. If I am correct, I think it's Grandmaster Sexy and Scotty Too Hotty.
It is. I snagged this bad boy on a night out with him back at Walkabout, Big Bad Broad Street.
Yeah,
like it was the most mental experience of my life.
How long did you work and live there then?
For Walkabout, I worked for a couple of years, but I moved down to Birmingham in, I think it was about March 2014, and then I lived above the pub till about March 2015, and then I moved to work at the pub next door, so I didn't go far. But that night with Too Cool, it was crazy because it was only about 4 or 5 months, maybe a little bit longer since I'd started with Cammy. And they brought Too Cool over, which was obviously awesome. It was crazy. But I worked at Walkabout as I was doing sales and marketing at the time. So they actually booked a meet and greet with Too Cool. And I had the night off, but Trent, one of the managers, was like, "Oh well, you're obviously going to be in here with him anyway, and so you might as well just take care of him for a couple of hours and stuff." But we got into Walkabout, and I said I'll just call him the Grandmaster. I said to the Grandmaster, I was like, "Oh, what do you want? What do you want to drink in that?" And he was like, "Oh, couple of Long Islands, a few Jaeger bombs." And so I took his order, and I was like, "Sound." Come back, gave him one at Long Island's. And he said, well, "Where's the fucking other one?" I'm like, I thought that was for Scotty. He's like, "Nah, fucking he don't drink. Just downs one, takes the other." But it was mental, and I remember going up into Luke's. We were like, "Well, where's he gone?" And we had a toilet attendant in there, and I walk in, and Grandmaster's trying to lock up with him and stuff, and he's obviously getting recognised and stuff by people. He's chopping people in the toilet and stuff. It was it was unbelievable. Like they did a seminar and that, so I got to get in the ring with them, and then obviously having that experience on the night out as well was it was cool. They were so much fun. Like they were the nicest pair of guys, of them. It was a big shame what happened to
definitely
the Grandmaster.
Yeah, definitely. Pour one out for
the Grandmaster.
Man.
Jerry Lawler's boy. So talking of nightclubs in Birmingham, it's where you made your debut for Kamikaze Pro at Gatecrasher. I believe it was a triple threat match against Mika, the Polish Punisher, and Omari, the Big O. I'm not here to talk about the match. I'm here to talk about the experience, because that's what you're all about, pal. So give me some juice, seeing as Hoover 2 Guerrero was there.
Oh, he was. Yeah, that was such a crazy day. Obviously, you're debuting. Technically, it wasn't my full debut in wrestling, but I always count it as my proper actual debut. That one, I had a couple of matches in Middlesbrough years ago. But yeah, it was obviously Kamikaze's biggest show at the time at Gatecrasher. Obviously, living on Broad Street, working on Broad Street was a big moment for so many reasons for myself. I turned up, me and Mika walk in. you've got Juventud Guerrero with some geezers following him around with a camera, a couple of girls with him all dressed up in like I don't know, like neon flamenco shit. It were a bit crazy. Turns out he's filming a music video. So he's got a little rap career on the side, and
what a guy.
He's a DJ in that. Yeah,
just fantastic.
Once be a man's seen its course, I think we might have a new contender.
Yeah, this is going to be investigated, definitely.
I'll see if I can track it down, because I'm actually in the video, but I'll get to that in a second. So yeah, we're in gate crashing, and then I won't go into match too much, but I remember walking out. As I'm walking out from our match, like where the curtains were, there was like it was halfway up a staircase. So I'm coming up the stairs and going to walk through the curtain, and we see all the other wrestlers on the show walking up the stairs because they all wanted to. We found out after the match that I won't name the names of that, but they all pretty much said they thought it were going to be a shit match. 2 people debuting. Amari's only had a handful of matches. It's a triple threat, which we all know are one of the hardest, probably the hardest match type, I think, to have a triple threat. So I can't really blame them. They all turned around and said that it was actually a decent, solid debut. So could have no complaints. But yeah, come back from the match and that. Obviously, we started watch the rest of the show from upstairs, having a few drinks and that, as you do. And it was a bit surreal because we're all sitting around just having some drinks and stuff in the like the changing room, and then you realise the time and you go out and it's like, oh fuck, gate crash is full. So we got absolutely fucking slaughtered. Obviously I knew a lot of people who worked in there, and I think it was like £2 vodkas or something all night. I think I wasn't paying more than £1 on getting doubles and stuff like that. So we were all absolutely fucked. I remember at one stage, there was me, James, Marshall X, his working name, and then Robbie X. So we're all on dance floor, and Robbie X is holding. Oh, was it? Yeah, I think Robbie X was holding the Kamikaze Pro title, the actual belt. We just had it out with us as you do. Packed dance floor. For some reason, I just went up behind him and gave him a picture-perfect German suplex right there on the dance floor. Obviously, held the bridge, pinned him. Someone counted it. I stand up with the belt, and I'm like, oh, fucking off my head, drunk with belt, just putting it on. Out of nowhere, James comes running in, spears me. We go flying, speed me that hard. I remember waking up next morning, you could see like where the belt had gone into me. I had a nice little cut in that. And at the same time, you've got Hoovy walking around dance floor. Obviously, his mate still got camera and stuff filming him and that. We end up in VIP booth, and he just starts filming everyone dancing for this music video. I think I'm on it for about 20 seconds. But of loads of assorted little clips of me just standing there dancing off my head, not knowing what I'm singing along to, but I'm like trying to. Yeah, it were a bit crazy. And then I just remember it getting to about 4:30 in the morning, and for some reason everyone just seemed to be at my house. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, hang on a sec, I've got fucking Juventud just lying on my bed having a drink. Oh, this is a bit. That was a bit of it was a bit of an experience. It wasn't the craziest experience I've had with Juventud. I'll get into that in a bit.
It's worse. Oh my god!
It gets worse or better. Yeah.
Yeah.
You be the judge of that.
Take it.
Yeah. No, this was more of a funny one though, because me and Mika ended up wrestling out in Malta. And he was on the show out there as well. So by this point, like, we knew him all right. We got on, and I saw that he was booked in Birmingham. It wasn't for Cammy though. I think it was for AW Dub. And I just messaged him, was like, "Oh, you're here. Like, do you fancy going out or something while you're here?" And now the show was on the Saturday, and I was working on the Saturday. So I says, "Oh, do you want to go out on the Friday?" And he was like, "Yeah, man. Yeah. We'll go out. We'll get juicy." And then it came to Friday, messaged him. Didn't hear anything back. So I thought, oh, he's not fussed. So then I'm at work on the Saturday in Old Barge behind bar, and then one of the bouncers comes up and he's like, "There's some guy outside says he's here for you." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I go outside, and Amari has decided to drop Juventud off because Juventud had said he would come into me. I don't know where this came from. So he gets dropped off, and he's just there with his big suitcase and stuff. I go in, all right, I'm at work. Fuck it, like, what? Come in, why not? So look, I was on the bar downstairs, so it was always just me on. But it got quite busy, so obviously I'm sliding him drinks and stuff. I'm sliding him drinks and that all night. He kept on trying to come behind the bar to DJ. I was like, "No, come on." We ended up getting back to mine after work about 4:30. So me and him are drinking and that. And then Mika, like he was around still when. I remember him sending him a photo and just like, "Yeah, this is my front room." And he was like, "Right, I'm getting an Uber. I'm coming around. I gotta see this." But then it turned out that Juve was flying out from Heathrow at something like 8, 9 in the morning, and he had someone coming to pick him up who were driving from London to Birmingham to take him back down to London. Bless him, because he was supposed to be going straight back to London after the show and that, but we ended up staying up drinking and stuff till about 5:30, 6 in the morning. I think there's a photo of all 4 of us. I've got it on my Insta. I don't know how he made the flight, let alone like managed to get on. But I thought you were going to batter me once though, because I didn't realise that when after that Gatecrasher show and we're all back at mine, obviously he had his gear bag and that with him and everything. And I don't know how it happened, because I was actually wearing it for part of the time I'm in the music video, one of his masks. And so I wake up the next morning and one of his masks was still in my room and that. I was like, "Oh shit." And then he did another camera show a year later and that, and I seen him and he was like, "Oh, you've got one of my masks." I was like, "Oh shit, here we go, I'm getting battered." I mean, he's only small, but I don't really want to fight back against him. Against
the WCW legend.
Yeah, that's it. But no, he was cool with it. He was just like, "Man, that night was crazy. We got juicy." Like his catchphrase. But
what a guy.
When you look back, I think that's a couple of cool stories you can always take.
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll cherish them experiences more than some of your matches that you have.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. Especially some ones I have had.
I'll see you in September.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah, that hasn't happened yet, has it?
I mean, that's the fun of wrestling, though. It's like, it's not what happens in the ring, it's what out of the ring where the best stories happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the nights where, like Martin said, an unplanned night, and then you're at the bar somewhere and you've ordered like a 20 quid first round, and you're there like, "Yeah, this is going to get fucked up."
That's it.
This is going to be fun, though.
Any night out, like, once at uni, I got a text and it was like 1 a.m. I was like, "Do you want to go out?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." 5 minutes later, you're out the door, and it's just the way it goes.
The best feeling in the world as well. When you're like ready, like when you're having a drink and you're like, you've got some mates who are like, "Oh no, I'm just gonna have one," or whatever. You think, "Oh, fuck off." But then you got nights where, you got nights when them like, "Yeah, I'll have another one." Yeah, get them in, and then you start thinking, "Hang on, this is going well. This is being, everybody's on board. You know what I mean? This is a good night." Them are the best nights when everybody's on board with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, where everyone's just in that mood. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's break it up a little bit. Martin, do you want to do your quick fire round?
Oh, what's this?
Yeah, to be fair, like I was gonna have like 10 questions, but like it went like the New Age Outlaws, like top 10. I've only got 7. So I don't know if
This is the fucking New Age This is the New Age Outlaw.
New Age Outlaw quick round. This should be
a bit of backstory to that. Like I was arguing that New Age Outlaws was probably potentially one of the best tag teams to hold that belt, that style belt. Bearing in mind you got Yokozuna and Owen Hart, etc.
I can't believe you just fucking put them in the same category as well.
Whatever. But anyway, I said,
Ahmed Johnson once held them, I think, as well.
And I said, I'm going to find some dead good matches from the New Age Outlaws, and I'm going to find the top 10. So I googled top 10 matches of the New Age Outlaws, and there was only 6 results. So, I got on there. So, but now it's just a bit of just wrestling related, quick fire questions, some true or false, yes or no's, some bonus points. So. We'll see you get on.
This was a quiz. Yeah, we are quizzing you.
Yeah, I'm gonna completely flunk at this because my actual wrestling knowledge of actual wrestling stuff isn't that great, to be fair. So
it's not as good as your Star Wars knowledge. Is that what you're saying, buddy?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Depends what the questions are. Like, if you ask me about questions about
they're not open-ended questions, so potentially you could guess and get them all right. Who knows?
Shit.
You know what I mean? So
just edit that bit out in post-production. If I do shit, leave it in still. Cover both.
So we've got question number 1. You ready? So Ric Flair won the first ever Royal Rumble. True or false?
That's false.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. China has won more intercontinental belts than the Honky Tonk Man.
That's false.
That's true.
Oh.
She's 2-time Honky Tonk Man is the longest ever champion with 1 reign.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, he's just longest ever, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was going for length, not for numbers, brother.
There you go.
That's what she said.
What, that one night?
Question number 3. How many times has Wrestlemania been held in New Orleans?
I know it's at least 1. 3?
No.
Oh.
2. Bonus points then. So it's 2. I'll let you redeem yourself here. Can you name the WrestleManias? So which WrestleManias were held? What numbers?
32.
No.
Bollocks.
30 and 34.
All right then, fucking Rain Man, calm down.
35 actually, isn't it?
Mate, I don't need to bother with WrestleManias when I got baggers on my
There you go.
Exactly.
Another WrestleMania.
Fucking straight.
Another WrestleMania question number 4. Undertaker went 22 matches undefeated at WrestleMania. True or false?
That's bullshit. That's false. It's 21 and 1.
21.
Anyone who knows wrestling, you got to know that.
Yeah, definitely. Question number 5. So Ahmed Johnson was the sensational newcomer in 1997. True or false?
Well, that's a bit of a subjective question. But I'm just going false. Yeah,
false. Yeah, it was 1996, but that was wrong as well. So if you'd have said 96, then that would have been wrong. So, question number
salty.
In Kuwait, roughly about the same time, Ahmed Johnson won a tournament. Can you name these opponents? Because nobody can.
Moving on swiftly.
Yeah, I'll come back to you on that one.
So everyone else.
This is more of an opinion than a question. So, question number 6: do you think Sean really lost his smile, or do you think he was just getting out to dropping the belt to Bret Hart at WrestleMania?
Oh, that is a good. That is a good question. But you know what? Going off all the not the stuff you know, because you can't really know, but going on all the stuff you see, the documentaries and interviews. Yeah, I think he lost it.
Yeah,
he didn't want to.
Okay.
He didn't want to drop the belt.
Yeah, he didn't. Not to Bret Hart, definitely. Nah.
Okay. And question number 7 out of 10, because I'm missing 3 questions for some reason. I don't know where they've gone.
Call it on the fly, man. Call it on the fly.
So we've got question number 7. Owen and Yokozuna won more WWF tag team belts than Owen with the British Bulldog. True or false?
I want to say that's true, that they did.
Yeah, it's true. So they won it twice with Yokozuna, but he only won it once with British Bulldog. Yeah. That's good.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Them questions are a little bit before your time, really, Elliott Jordan. The Elliott Jordan Experience. I do apologise. You really surprised me when you told me that that when I was doing my research, you didn't tell me this. I asked you if it was correct because I was so shocked. But you told me that the first ever event that you recall watching was an event called Bragging Rights in 2010. This is where WWE at the time were putting Raw versus SmackDown in an event called Bragging Rights. Like, why did it take so long, I suppose, to get into wrestling?
Well, I didn't have Sky. For one, I didn't have Sky as a kid. So I wasn't exposed to it through that. The first experience I had was SmackDown 1 and SmackDown 2.
Okay.
On the PlayStation. So I had them games. WCW used to be on for an hour on Channel 5 on Friday night, 7 o'clock. But I can remember Disco Inferno. I think it was Shannon Moore. I think I saw a bit of Sting. But then on
Mate Conan as well.
Now, Mate Conan.
Oh. So I think after that, I bought a couple of the games, but I don't know. I think I didn't really know, like, none of my friends or anything. No one at my school knew and followed any wrestling, so I didn't really know. But then when I was at uni, me and my two housemates in our second year, we got our student house, and as you do, you get Sky. And I think we were pre-drinking one time, or we just got in, or for some reason we were just drinking. It could be any reason. We were just drinking in the flat, the house, sorry, and there was some wrestling on. Them two had both watched it as kids, so they were getting into it and stuff. So we decided to start Sky Plus in Monday Night Raws and the SmackDowns and that. Just got into it a little bit, and then it just so happened that Bragging Rights was the event that it were building up to at the time. So we decided to get the pay-per-view and have a few drinks and that. And I just remember thinking, oh, this is class. Like, this is really cool. And then it was maybe about 4 or 5 months later. Well, maybe a bit longer, I think. Wrestlemania came around, the next one. And we found out Royal Rumble. And we found out a few other people on our course at uni like wrestling. So we had that
was the Royal Rumble with 40 people in, right?
It was, that was my first one. So we obviously bought the pay-per-view and that. We had a sweepstake, the beers and everything. And then it turns out that one of them used to train. He used to train at somewhere in Middlesbrough. And so it sparked my curiosity. I got speaking to about it and stuff. Ended up going. It wasn't for another year or so. That I plucked up the courage to kind of go. And then I went along and thought, hang on, this is actually really, really cool. Never enjoyed anything that much before. So I wrestled a little bit up there. Looking back now, it wasn't anything decent, and the training was just a case I could do a couple of moves, couldn't really bump properly and stuff like that. Didn't have no idea about structure, psychology, characters, none of that.
I've managed for 10 years, mate.
Yeah, it's
I expect to say I'm at that level.
Was that raw there?
So then when I came down to Birmingham, it was probably about 10% for work, but then about 90% because I knew there'd be a lot more training opportunities and stuff down here. But looking back, there is a bit of a feeling about it, because I know that if I'd have seen it as a kid, I'd have got into it straight away as a kid, and I'd have probably started training as soon as I could have done as a kid in that. But so yeah, I've found it. I obviously have watched older matches and things, pay-per-views, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the Experiences wrestling history.
Oh, okay.
What a story. What a story, because it was about a month after you moved down here that the Kami Kazi Dojo opened, wasn't it, I believe?
Yeah, it was really good timing. I think I moved down and I messaged them, and then they says, "Oh, we've actually got this dojo starting soon. So I've been a part of it since day one. So I remember that first session over at Hadley Stadium. Beat Pete Dunne in a game of Shoot Bulldog. Take that one to the grave.
Nice. So you should. It's something to brag about these days.
Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah, he wasn't as big as big as he is now, but I still take it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, just quick question then. So, sort of starting watching wrestling when you did. Who's like your favorite wrestler now?
Well,
or do you have one, or is it particular? Like you have like certain people.
I think certain people, but from that, because obviously when we started watching it, it was building up to bragging rights, and Edge was one of team captains, and then he had quite a lot to do in that match. I think he got like 4 or 5 eliminations, him and Ray, so it was always Edge. Well, then obviously he retired and things. I love the fact he's back now. But yeah, people like Edge, the Hardy Boys, the Punk era in WWE, like the Summer of Punk. That was as I was like first really getting into it properly and stuff. The CM Punk will always be a favourite in that. But it's basically because now there's so much wrestling out there and stuff. There is a lot to watch. But I will go out of my way. I'll go out on my way to watch certain people, but it tends to be finding matches from like people who I actually know, or like people on the UK scene and stuff like that. That I'll really go out on my way to watch the matches of, because
you like their stuff, so support them by watching it.
Well, yeah, and just to learn from and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I think I haven't actually watched wrestling in quite a while with lockdown. I think Revolution AEW was my first pay-per-view in a while and stuff. But I'll watch that with me housemate and stuff. You know what lockdown's like when you got nothing to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to get that spark ignited again. But really enjoying AEW at the moment. I haven't watched WWE in a long time, but Edge and Christian, them two probably my 2 favourites. And now that Christian's back, we'll just go with him. There you go.
Good choice. If anyone wants to check out Bragging Rights 2010, this is the main event that you've got to look forward to.
It was great.
Team SmackDown: Alberto Del Rio, Big Show, Edge, Jack Swagger, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, and Tyler Rex, with Hornswoggle in their corner. They take on Team Raw, which consisted of CM Punk, Ezekiel Jackson, John Morrison, The Miz, R-Truth, Santino Marella, and Sheamus, with Alex Riley in their corner. And you also get to see Kane defend the World Heavyweight title in a Buried Alive match with Paul Bearer against The Undertaker. Not bad, really.
I can't remember any of the other stuff on the show. I just remember that main event match.
The big main event.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah,
I think someone
clusterfuck of a match.
It was, yeah. I think Edge come down to like Edge and Ray. Ray had got took out by Del Rio earlier in match. So there were about 5 on Team Raw.
Spoiler alerts ahead, folks.
Yeah, fucking
like an over 10-year-old show.
Edge spears like 3 people, executes someone else. Ray comes out. Miraculous recovery. Dials up the 619. Like, what more is there? Like,
what more is there?
It was great. It is a great event. Fantastic.
So we're going to wrap up with a couple of questions. I think the one that I'd like to ask first, I suppose, is who is your best opponent to date?
Oh, see that. It's a tough to be. You
can give us a couple if you want.
Who's my best opponent or my best match against?
Well, you can give us both if you want.
Well, I can't actually say the person who I've had my best best match.
Awkward. Moving on.
Yeah. So after that, someone who I can't.
We can guess. We'll do a countdown conundrum across the
funnily enough, I watched that. I watched the match yesterday, and it did really piss me off that I can't share it and things anymore because it was fucking awesome. But my best match, and I think since then, is Speedball Mike Bailey. Literally, fuck, he is one of the best in the world. He took me to my absolute limit, and considering it was a few days after I found out about arthritis. And
wasn't he ribbing you in the back, saying like, "Oh, you know, you want to do all these moves, backbreakers, and so on and so forth"?
I don't think. I think James had just says, "Oh, he might have a little problem with his back and things." But he to be fair, he suggested the double knee. It's one of his signature move, and I was happy. With it and stuff. I'd had the conversation with James before, and I was so low at that point. I thought I was probably going to have to give up wrestling. Wrestling for good. So I kind of went into that match thinking, this could be like this could just be it, the last one. But Speedball just took me to my absolute limit, and I didn't think I had a match in me that good and that heavy hitting and stuff. But it was fucking awesome. And I highly recommend people to get the Vimeo on demand and watch it.
Oh, look at him being a promoter and all sorts of Cammy. I love it. It's £5, I think. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, that's a great match to talk about. You had a great experience. Obviously, the arthritis is quite a serious side of that. And I guess lockdown, you know, has given you an opportunity to rest up, which you'll probably say yourself. But what does the future hold then for Elliott? The Elliott Jordan Experience based on that?
The future still holds a lot for me, to be honest. Because the way I see it, I was wrestling with arthritis for 2 years before I actually knew. So now that I do know, I can adapt. I can adapt. I can overcome. I sound like a fucking therapist or something there, but yeah.
Sounds like a Triple H rebuild promo.
That's it. So I think there's going to be a slightly different Elliott Jordan Experience just in regards of the move set. Well, I've never really been one for moonsaults and doing 1,000 flips in my match, but just little things like no more side effects because there's no point me taking a bump as well. So I know what I can do. I know what I can do good. So that's just it, really. I'm going to adapt until you kill me in September. But I'll still if we had that much and you said to me, can I powerbomb you through a table with thumbtacks? I'm like, fucking yes, you can.
Yeah, literally, we've talked about this no DQ match, and you've mentioned thumbtacks, you've mentioned all sorts.
Serb doesn't know what he's like.
We don't even care. We don't even care what Serb thinks at this point. We're just going to do it.
First time that title had been defended in about a year and a half. It deserves a full-on.
It needs something
start as you mean.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That main event is gonna. That's one of the matches I'm most looking forward to. Just come back to Wolf Run because it's just got a special place in my heart. That place.
Yeah, is that your first sort of main title, if you like, in terms of the heavyweight title of a promotion? Because I know you've won the Relentless title at Cammy, right?
Yeah. I think I'd won a cruiserweight belt before that. I think it was the Nothing But Wrestling one. They're not going anymore, but they put the title on me. Their first one. Probably have to double check the dates. But yeah, there was the MBW Cruiserweight, Nothing But Wrestling, Wolfram Pro Wrestling. I've now got the Kamikaze Pro Relentless. And if you take Lockdown out of the equation, still the longest reigning champion in the company's history. When you consider people like Pete Dunne and Ryan Smile have held that belt, very happy with that start. Very happy with that because it's one of them things no one can take away from you.
Absolutely.
Ever.
No.
It's another line. It's another line for the announcement at Cammy as well.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
That's it.
We just make it long as the 1004 holds Chris Jericho list.
That's it. It was strange because the first time we put it in was the last Cammy Live show. It was me and Luke versus George and Kieran, and Colin said, no, it wasn't even Colin, it was Carl. Carl, announced it. And he put in the line the winner of the Overtop 7 Rumble. Longest, as soon as he said sorry, I've got my stories confused. The first show after I was the longest reigning, Colin went on the mic and believe it was in Digbeth at the Mill, and he said he'd like you to also be reminded he's the longest reigning. Actually got a round of applause. I was quite touched because it is just a really big achievement. I think people look at wrestling and say, oh, it's not real and all this blah blah blah. Your titles don't mean much, but they do. And having a record like that is decent. That's why I'm bringing thumbtacks and stuff into the equation in September, just to take you out.
I think
you'll probably need them, buddy. You'll probably need them.
I'm not gonna lie. I think when every company sort of goes back to running their main event, it's going to be like 98 again, and everyone's doing hardcore matches for the main event. I'm calling it now. This country is going to be a fucking bloodbath. Go doctors of blades and shit.
Fingers crossed. Pressure on the NHS. Fuck you, no. Wait till September comes.
Fucking do it myself. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We'll be on respirators next to each other. We'll be holding each other's hands across the bed.
What promotion you, mate?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, that should be fun, without a doubt. Boys, have you got any other questions for Elliott while we're here? The Elliott Jordan Experience. I've done it again. My fucking bad.
I'm going to remind you of all of these in September.
That's fine. It's 4 chops that you owe me currently.
Chops.
So
it's the last man standing match. I think I'm going to be reminded you.
Share shots.
Fucking Mike Awesome over here taking him fucking first one. Go on, you bastard.
I just can't wait to see Seb's face.
He's going to be crying.
I think when we get backstage, he'll shake our hands and thank you very much. Here's your wages. See you next month.
You think I won't be walking? I won't be walking. No. I love Wolfrun. I do love Seb. Funnily enough, outside of Cammy, he was the first person, not just to book me, but to book me, and then kind of just let me go. Like I'd worked for MBWA maybe about 8 or 9 times, but I think they changed ownership halfway through. But then when I came in for Serb, I think after the first couple of shows, he just said to me, he was like, look, I'll give you all my dates if you're free. I want you on, and that's so I'll probably wrestle at Wolfrun as long as I'm able. And obviously that'll probably end in September. But we'll see. Yeah.
Look, you've got a shitload of potential, not just for locally around here in Cammy and FCW and Wolfrun. You can expand the Elliott Jordan Experience up and down this country and potentially even the world. You heard it here first, folks. Wow. Yeah, I've got a lot of faith in your ability, buddy. So trust me. Yeah, you're going to do well.
I've had steps out there. UK, I think I've done Newcastle. Obviously Middlesbrough. Going down south, London, been there. So I wrestle for SWW at the moment, over in the Gloucester area in the southwest. That's cool. Got Shropshire. Me and Luke are working on some stuff as Project Killjoy. So we're hoping 2021 when we finally can wrestle. There is going to be some really cool moments, and definitely 2022.
Good times. That's what we like to hear. And I guess, who are your top 3 future opponents?
Top 3 future opponents. George Lydon. I would absolutely love to wrestle George in a singles match. We got to have a bit of fun in the last Cammy Live in a tag match, but huge fan of George. I think he's going to go far. I'd love him in a singles when we come back. God, you've put me on the spot.
He definitely seems to have the right attitude, George.
He does, yeah. He's that thing. He's a really good talent, but he's also a really nice guy, like a good person, as well. So George is definitely in the top 3. Who else? Shit, man. Well, I want to just put out Sean Custom. Easy. I have worked with him before and things, but just because that match, I should have had a championship match against him about 7 months ago now, and I know that match is going to be the biggest match of my career. So I'll put him in there just because I want that match to happen as soon as possible. To be honest. And then a third one, I'll make this one someone who I haven't worked before at all. Shit. Definitely not saying you, Rob.
I don't want you to say me. That's the whole point.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. That's what's going in Rob's head right now. Proper crying on the inside.
Oh, fuck. Actually, no, this is all. I can't believe I forgot this one. This guy is probably my dream opponent. And now that he's kind of a free agent, it's got potential to one day happen. Maybe even at the Bagger Dome. Maybe, Rob. Heath Slater.
Slater? Wow.
Heath Slater.
Okay.
Is that the one who's got kids?
He has got kids.
I just love him, man. I love him. Yeah. Since day one, like obviously his Nexus were big. When I first started watching it, he had his long hair and stuff. And me and my housemate just used to make us piss ourselves.
Yeah, he's great.
But he's have you ever seen him on that show on the network where they do like it's kind of a Mick Taker Jackass?
Yeah.
And
he's in the coffee shop and he's on like the microphone telling people that, oh mate, it's fucking jokes. You go out of your way to watch it. It's so funny.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And before we leave then, Elliott Jordan Experience, the Elliott Jordan Experience. I missed one word that time round. I mean, I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
Colin will tell you. And you
fuck Colin.
If you buy the Kamikaze Pro Vimeo and watch
I'm all right, thank you. I'm okay.
You will see. There's been times when I've heard him on commentary refer to me as Elliott Jordan, and I've turned and pointed like, do you know?
Oh, dickhead.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Rob, you've got some fucking receipts coming your
way. I'm all right with
it.
I'm okay with it.
You need to sort yourself out, man.
I'm all right with it. The crowbar's ready. Give us... Plug your shit with your social media handles and let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. Instagram, The Elliott Jordan Experience. Facebook, The Elliott Jordan Experience. Twitter, Elliott Jordan XP. Check them out. There will be some cool shit coming on there in the next few weeks. Might even be a merch drop coming up next couple of months as well.
Is this an exclusive?
Yeah. Could be, yeah. Just check it out. Follow me on any and all social medias.
Follow that guy now because merch is hitting soon.
Unfollow RC Chaos.
Fantastic.
You've taken my t-shirt out of the shop behind you.
Well, you deserved it.
And you never answered the question.
What was the question? I didn't have my headphones on.
How many RC Chaos t-shirts does Lacey own?
Oh, wow. That would be a big fat 0 because some lazy bastard didn't bother to do any merch for many years just because he fancied turning up for some bants. And then he got semi-serious and then lockdown happened. So there's your answer. Also, I have an 8-year-old daughter. Excuses are excuses, and I will keep them to myself. However, life goes on, and after lockdown, it's a different story, isn't it? That's true. Yeah, it's been great having you, man. It's been greite having you on.
It's been great to be here. Tell Lacey I said hello as well.
I will. Don't you worry, mate. She was like, I've got another T-shirt of his somewhere. I need to find it. I was like, nah, fuck that. Like the one will do. Okay, so that is another episode of Talking Shop done with the one and only, the Elliott Jordan Experience. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you down the road soon. Take care, guys. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Good.